The following audio, brought to you by TSF Entertainment Podcast, may contain graphic descriptions of violence and/or audio clips of violence or sexual explicit events. Listeners' discretion is advised.
What's good, TSFENTERTAINMENT Podcast? Your boy Souls, and we are back with the family, man, and ready to do this podcast. And y'all already know, family, introduce yourselves.
Yo, what's up? This is your boy RETROCG.
What's up? It's REALLYBTV.
JACKOFJORDANS, we in the building even when we outside.
And tonight we are here to talk about Power, Book 3, Raising Kanan, Episode 8, The Cost of Doing Business. First thoughts, what do y'all think about the episode?
I loved it.
I loved it too.
I loved it.
Very good. Very good. I think a lot of things that were in this episode that we were actually hoping for as, you know, host of the show came into wow.
We got a lot of questions answered. We definitely got a lot of questions answered, especially me and CP. We had a lot of things that we were kind of irritated about. So it was very nice to see some of those things that we were irritated about get answered in this episode. And hopefully in the next 2 episodes, we'll get some more answers, because I feel like we have a bit of new questions now. But definitely those questions that we have been carried for the season definitely got answered tonight.
Agreed.
So let's go ahead and kick off the episode. So the episode starts off with Jukebox and Kanan outside of Nicole's funeral. So again, we've had a little time that's passed. Maybe a couple days has went by, and Jukebox has learned about Nicole's passing. So she's outside of the funeral. And man, shout outs to the actor. She did such a great job showing her grief and emotion. Like, I mean, she didn't have to say anything in these scenes, yo. The look and expression and her mannerisms.
Facial expression.
Everything.
Told all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just through. I mean, it was just a very powerful. It was very powerful for her portraying the scene. So they go inside, and they're kind of like in the foyer of the church. And, you know, when she sees Nicole's picture, you know, that's confirmation right there. I think part of the reason she's in shock and it's so sudden, and seeing that, it was just confirmation for her that, like, she's really dead. She's gone.
Yeah, she's really gone. Yeah.
Yeah. And so as some of the mourners were coming in, one of them made a comment. You know, I guess I didn't catch it because the subtitle didn't pick up the first part of it, but it did pick up the second part where the young lady, or one of the ladies, asked, you know, what happened? Do you know what happened? And it was congenital heart failure is what the family was telling everyone that happened to her. And so the father spots Kanan in Jukebox, and, you know, he kind of goes up. He's not really trying to make a scene. You know, he just said, Laverne, you shouldn't be here. And she was like, we'll go. By that time, the mom spots him, and she's ready to have them thrown out and just make a scene for no reason. You know, Jukebox was already walking off when, you know, she came up. So, you know, it's just, you know, more so that mother is grieving. And, you know, of course, she blames Jukebox for what has happened to Nicole, in addition to, you know, some other things that we know that she's blaming Jukebox for. So what did y'all think about that scene?
I think personally, I think that the mom is, how can I say it? I think the mom is doing a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you had in play out, and when your child grew up, what you had your mindset set on. But now it's like at this point, your child is dead, and you know that this specific person is going to feel some type of way about the loss of your child.
Right.
They felt that too. And instead of letting her, you know what I'm saying, letting her actually either
Pay her
grieve
respects.
or, you know, pay her respects, you was ready to act, you know what I'm saying? You was ready to basically turn up on her because
She was
you
there.
know of past transgressions. Not only did you kind of like ruin a moment for her, but you ruined the moment for yourself.
Well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I hear what you're saying, but this woman has truly convinced herself, one, that her daughter was not really gay.
Yep.
That Jukebox
Right.
somehow
Took
turned her
advantage of
daughter
her.
gay.
Mm-hmm.
She probably, even though she was really, really nice in the beginning to Laverne or whatever, in the back of her mind, she always saw her as a black girl from the ghetto. Like, let's, you know.
Right.
And and she's convinced that Laverne introduced her daughter to drugs. Now, we know all of that not to be true. But when you
Right.
look
We know
at
it's
it
not
from
true. Right.
a parent's perspective, and now that parent is grieving her child, I get it, but I don't think she was being ridiculous based on how she felt.
And there's two sides to this coin, and I get it, you know, and I tend to lean more towards Marvin's approach, because that's the way I look at it. You know, regardless of what you feel about Laverne and their relationship or whatever the case may be, this is a person that used to be at your house every other day. So you know that, you know, she cared for your daughter and they were friends or whatever, and she's feeling lost. You know, it just wasn't the time or the place to address it. But I was really pleased to see that Kanan showed up as well. You know, to support her. It just speaks to, you know, just how
And
close they are.
actually stood up for her.
Yeah, he stood up for her.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
did.
He actually stood up for her, which I think was, you know, I mean, I think was pretty dope on his end, you know, given that the things that Kanan's been doing in the episodes. And then we go back to the episode where he told her, I know your secret, so you might want to keep your fucking mouth shut. You know, so for him to be there and then say, hey, look, she loved your daughter, I think you should know that. And kind of just walk, you know what I'm saying? Like, he really, you know what I'm saying? He really tried to plant a seed.
He did what he was supposed to do, and that was defend his
right.
cousin.
Right.
And so it just really speaks to their relationship, you know, just how close they are and how dependent on each other they are, because they're more dependent on each other than, you know, they really than everyone see. Because, you know, at the end of the episode we see that, you know, it's kind of like we all we got type situation. So it's really sad to see how their story turns out, because they were so dependent upon each other and so close. So after they leave the church, you know, Kanan was like, come on, Juke, let's go home. And she was like, no, I got to roll dolo on this. You know, she needed some time to herself. And part of it was, you know, for her to just process and grieve. And another part of it was that, you know, we see later on in the episode, you know, what she was going to do. So, you know, they kind of split and go their separate ways. And that's the end of that for the moment. And then we switched to Juliana and Gabrielle. Listen, me and CP was talking earlier today, and I told her, I said, listen, when I saw this scene, I already knew what was getting ready to happen. I knew that this was going to be Gabrielle's last day with us, because for them to show them at the house and not at the bodega, I already knew that this is what we've been looking for.
Good.
Yeah, I picked up on the vibes when she accidentally.
She didn't accidentally. She did it on purpose.
It was intentional. But you know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be a portrayal of an accident. When she accidentally intentionally spilled the stuff on the table and on him, and knocked it down, and then she started scooting towards the kitchen. I'm like, yeah, his ass finna die.
Yeah.
Well, she's serving him breakfast, and you know, she puts the plate down and she throws. I didn't take it as an accident, because I mean, you see her literally dashed the coffee on him. Yeah, he smacked her. And then he takes her belt, takes his belt off and starts beating her like she's a child. And she runs for the kitchen, runs out the back door, and runs into the shed. We knew it right then and there what was getting ready to happen. Crystal, what happened next?
My girl was standing there in her black leather and her stilettos, and she shot that nigga straight in the head. Now I thought it was gonna be Lulu.
A ghetto hero,
I knew,
boy.
yeah, I knew they was getting ready to kill him, but I thought it was gonna be Lulu. But when they looked and it was Rock, I said, okay, I see.
I thought it was gonna be Lulu too.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. I thought it was gonna be Lulu.
But it's kind of good that it happened the way it happened, because when he picked up that butcher knife, he was getting ready to end it for her. That was he was getting ready to take her out. He was
well,
she
had
her.
to make sure that she made him angry enough.
Yeah.
Right. If she had if it didn't look like it was an accident, it may or may not have pissed him off enough. She needed to piss him off enough for him to chase her, for that. Yeah. So, yeah.
And that's exactly what he did.
She did a damn good job, didn't she?
Yeah, that's exactly what he did, because he chased her out the door with that butcher knife, and he came around that corner. It was a wrap.
Triggered.
Yep. Rock shot his ass on up, and he's on up out of here.
And this for every nigga like you.
Yep.
Exactly.
Hit his ass twice in the chest, then finished him off.
Yep. But it was glad to see. It was good to see that Rock kept her promise to Juliana that, let me help you. And she pretty much gave her an alibi. She even told her, what she needed to say when the police showed up. And so, and we see, when the police come to, she's mourning, and, she's grieving, and she played that role real good. She looked up the street and saw Rock was still there. She gave her that look, and she even told her, because Rock was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "Thank you, gracias, thank you." So she was pleased with the outcome. So I think we're getting ready to see this partnership develop more between Rock and they're going to be these two strong women that are going to be doing their thing. So I think we're going to
I don't think we've seen the last. I don't think we've seen the last of that duo.
Yeah, I think going forward, we're going to see a whole different side of Juliana. I think she's going to really step up to the plate, and she's going to really help Rock out along the way. She's going to be a sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
So you see Detective Burt and Howard, they are going to these crack houses and, looking at these dead bodies all over town. And, they found out about the blue tops. So, and it was kind of interesting, that conversation between Burke and Howard, because he was like, this is a victimless crime. And technically he's right. It really is a victimless crime. But, Burke don't see it that way. She's like, no, they are the victim. And I get it. But at the end of the day, it's a crime of choice. It's almost like suicide. I mean, these are the risks when you are out here in the streets and you're taking drugs, and, this is what's going to happen. So
I disagree, but okay.
You look at it. Well, let's talk about it then.
No, I mean, I don't think it's a victimless crime when somebody ends up dead. Like, I understand what you're saying, that these were drug addicts, but I mean, the choice is the first time. If your body develops an addiction, then your body develops an addiction. You just got to feed that addiction. I don't necessarily look at it like that, but
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, that's another point of view of looking at it. I look at it, as we all have choices, and these are the consequences to the choices that we make. So if I'm out here in the streets and I'm out here fiending and stealing and doing things for drugs, something that's illegal, here's my risk. It's just the same as to be said about the risk of selling the drugs. So there's going to be consequences.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that
that
part. Oh, I definitely agree that there are consequences, but to say it's a victimless, that's the part I'm talking about. There are absolutely consequences. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying the part about there's no victim. There is a victim. Somebody, regardless of crackhead or not, somebody family member is dead because like Detective said, he said it's not the cocaine that kills them. It's what these drug dealers put in the cocaine that's killing them. So
that's right.
That's all I'm saying. But go ahead. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I feel you on that. Jack, what y'all think?
Did we lose him?
I think
Jack.
I'll wait for Juggernaut to come in.
No,
I
you
think that
got water in that cup, or you got something else in that cup, bro?
nah, I'll wait for you to come in. I think that like it's more so of the addiction is what catches them, and the ongoing addiction is what catches them, and the person that's actually feeding into that addiction. So I mean, that's feeding to their addiction. So but we already knew that because of the way that Kanan, who thought he knew everything, the way he stepped on it, that there was going to be consequences behind this anyway, somehow, some way, because you put out the 20 valves, you potentially looking at 20 people dying.
Yep.
So we
Yeah.
already kind of knew that it was going to be that this is going to be what it was.
Right. And if this is what I say to that. They put out 6 bodies so far, and I don't think they counted Nicole just yet, because of course they ruled
They
it
haven't
as
put it together. Yeah.
right.
And well,
And
her
they ruled
parents
it as
covered it up.
congestive heart failure. But
Yeah.
if they put out 20 testers, and where the hell is these other people at?
Well, you know, one of the police officers said that there's others in they didn't quantify it by a number. He just said that there's others in other abandoned houses that they found as well.
Okay, got that part. But as far as the addiction thing, I would say personally, you know, I couldn't personally. I don't get how people feed into it, but me personally, you know what I'm saying, it is a self thing. But when you know you in that life and what you gonna do, then that's what you gonna do. I mean, hey, look at Nicole for example. I mean, you wouldn't have never who would ever thought until you know now, and it's just like when last Sunday when she hit the lace blunt with Camacho. Who Sunday? Or was that
Probably
Sunday
Sunday
before?
That was
before.
a couple of Sundays ago.
Yeah, I
Sunday,
think it was a
okay,
couple Sundays ago.
Sunday before last when she hit the lace blunt with Crown Camacho. When she hit that, you know, who would have thought that we was gonna see an episode had an actual pipe in the house?
Well, we kind of
You know, so
it kind of told us a
I mean,
story
it
that didn't
kind of
even need to be
gravitated that
told
way.
because
Gave
we
us a
saw
hunch.
that. Go ahead.
No, it gave us that hunch because, of course, she was open to. She did pass on the drink, but she was open to have it. You know what I'm saying? Indulging in the drugs, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? When you get to it, it's like, oh, okay. And she go in the drawer, and it's like, oh wow, damn, she got a whole setup in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, oh, okay, well, you know, now we see why she was just so, you know, okay with, you know, taking that blunt from you know, Camacho.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, it's a sad event because we see not just with the crackheads, but we see that there's collateral damage all the way around because of it. So
Right.
I think that's the bigger story that's being told. So we switched to Rock at the House with the brothers, Marvin and Lulu. And of course, she's trying to figure out what the mathematics are for the day. And Lulu's pretty much telling her that, listen, we're going to top out at 5. You know, we ain't got no work. And so he's getting ready to sell off all he got. And then, of course, you know, the subject of the blue caps come up again. You know, Marvin nervous. And, you know, he quickly tries to deflect.
He is
a
horrible liar. Guy, he's such a bad liar.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not quick on his feet with the lie. But you see where in this, Rock doesn't think that is Unique anymore. She doesn't think that Unique is behind it. She was like, why would Unique be putting out bad drugs when he's paying 20% to buy up my stuff? He got his weight, like he got more than enough drugs to put out on the street. You know, he wouldn't need to do this. And he's not he's been in it long enough not to do anything sloppy like this because dead bodies gonna bring heat. And
which is the same thing Detective Howard said. Detective Howard immediately ruled out Rocks and Unique on the blue tops because he was like, they're not
too
amateurs.
Sloppy.
Like this is an amateur move right here. They know that the bodies are going to bring the police and they ain't about to do that. So like, again, it goes back to us understanding how much of a rookie move this was that Kanan did, you know.
Yep. Just how out of line he was.
It was a cocky move. He trying to, you know, basically have a dick swinging match with people who's already been in the game and doing what they do.
He was just trying to flex his position. You know who my mama is, you know who my uncles are, whatever the case may be. He, like we said that last week.
But they stupid for letting Kanan bark down on them like that anyway.
Well, they're scared because they really didn't. No, I was gonna say they don't understand that Kanan isn't like the way he's portraying that he is. Like he's making it seem like he's doing all these things with his mother's permission. They don't realize that he's moving in the shadows and that his mother don't really want him. Like if they knew, like Scrappy talked to Kanan the way he did because he knew that nigga, you ain't like you're not impressing me because I already know I'm your babysitter. I already know that your mama don't want you out here. But they don't know that. And they know that Rock is a queen pin, and they don't want to get on her bad side. And that's really what that was. Like, I don't think it was so much about Marvin as it was about her.
Good point.
Right.
I agree with that. I totally agree with it. So, Marvin tries to deflect, and he was like, he heard it was from some niggas from the Boogie Down, and Lulu like, where you hear that at? And he was like, the streets, unlike you, I'm in the streets or whatever the case may be. And then, here they go, they get into it. And,
not with my headphones on or whatever the hell.
Not with my headphones on.
Not with my headphones on, right.
And then he started talking about how he need to put deodorant on and how
you can tell that they brothers. God, you can tell they brothers.
they're just so petty towards each other. They just
Did
always
that fool say he had a natural man?
He did.
He did.
And he told him that he smelled like Secret. He said you wear a Secret like she do.
He said you wear the same shit she wear. It was funny as hell. It was funny as hell. But I was wondering when Rock was going to tell them both to shut the fuck up. Because
and I'm waiting for that any moment now for her to like shut them the fuck up when they be squabbling, because that's exactly what they be doing. They just be having a little petty
They
squabbles.
are hilarious. But you can tell that they're brothers. Like, that is just how brothers are. Like, crazy.
So Rock tell them to figure out who cooking up these blue caps and get rid of them. And of course, he already know what time it is or whatever the case may be. But you see Lulu sitting there looking at his paperwork. Of course, we didn't know what the paperwork was at the time, that what he was looking at. And so, him and Rock, Rock wants to have a follow-up conversation with him about Unique pressing up on him about rolling. And right then and there, Lulu pretty much shut her down and let her know, listen, I'm loyal to the day I drop. So even if Neek put me in the ground, I'm going to be still flying the same flag that I'm flying right now. So I guess she was looking for that reassurance from him that, shit bad over here, but I need to know that you still in this with me. And so, they kind of have a moment where they talk about that. And
I like that scene, but I kind of don't like that scene.
I agree with you on that, Jack, because I felt the same way about it.
Yeah, me too.
Because, he hasn't done anything for you to question his loyalty.
Right.
Why you pressing up on him like that? Because if he hadn't told you about what was going on, you found out another way, then I can see you being suspicious. But he brought this to the table.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the way I felt. It's like
she pressed on him hard too.
It's like you like Scrappy. Like it seemed like she got more faith in. I don't want to say she got more faith in Scrappy than she do Lulu at the time or whatever, but maybe it's the whole music thing, and she just wanted to see where his head was at.
Yeah, she feel like the music is a distraction to him doing real work, or what she considers real work.
Yeah.
And so we switched to Unique at his spot.
And his little lair?
Yeah, his little lair. And I have since figured out now that Unique is a brat. He's a child. Like, he's having these little temper tantrums, and he tearing down the place, and he talking about Rock stink all over this or whatever. So he's just throwing a fit. The workers standing there looking at him like, yo, what's up? And then, I'm starting to see where he not treating his workers right. Like, he not really treating his workers right. Go back to a couple episodes ago when he killed his man. Like, I love you, but cut the man ear off, shot him up. Yeah, I love you, or whatever the case may be. And then he told him then in that scene that all of y'all can get it. So, like, you're abusing and mistreating your workers, but your workers are out in the street. They're the ones that are seeing what's going on. And, you're not really out here in the streets like that. You up here in this tailor shop getting your fits together every day. So, these boys are out here in the street, and they try to put you on game, but you throwing temper tantrums, and they're going to try to sun them niggas and tell them to clean it up. Like, I didn't like this scene Unique.
Didn't he tell his right hand, didn't he tell him when he was trying to
I said it is what it is. Whatever I
because he was trying to tell him, like,
he said,
I didn't hear that in the streets.
Tell him, he said, it is what I say it is.
It is what I say it is, right? Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this,
but it's very. You hear me?
Right, I didn't hear that. Right. But let me tell you something. I agree with you 100%. But it's very reminiscent because think about it. Unique inherited the empire from his brother.
Yep.
So it's very reminiscent of like a Kanan who thinks he's ready but really isn't ready and doesn't really understand. So it's very reminiscent. Unique, and he didn't. I mean, we don't necessarily know how he came up, but we know that he inherited this empire. So
and you gotta imagine that he's a little bit younger than Rock and them. He might be along the same age as Lulu. He might be along the same age as Lulu. But I agree with you on that, CP. That's exactly the way I take that, you know. And he started to freak out, you know, because he's losing control, or what he thinks that he's losing control. Because he's like, Rock got her stink all over this. Whereas she immediately said, no, Neek wouldn't do this because this is an amateur move. He doesn't see it as that. So anything that goes bad, he automatically is looking for her to be responsible for it.
And I'm gonna tell you what else too. And this might be me thinking too deep. Y'all know how I be thinking sometimes, but I'm thinking going back to him buying up all of the work. He might be overextending himself. I know that's not something that they've discussed. I know that's not a part of the storyline.
Without the territory, you're not gonna be able to move all that work.
Because Rock even said that when she talked to old boy and he told her that Unique is buying up, she was like, how can he afford to do that? And then when he doesn't recognize that, like, she immediately said, listen, I don't understand why he would even be sacrificing it. He's got me in a corner. Like, he's got all of the product and he should be good. So why is he over in his lair pressed over what Rock's doing? You know what I mean? Why would he automatically make that assumption?
But it goes back to it reminded me of that time, that season in Power, when Lobos was giving Tommy and Ghost all the extra weight and they couldn't move it. You know, they was trying to get all the extra, they was trying to get extra territory to be able to move the weight.
Exactly.
And Unique don't have that right now. And then you seen that look that Warrell gave him, you know, when he went in the room and slammed the door in his face or whatever the case may be.
Told him he need 5. He taking 5.
Yeah, I feel like what we're getting ready to see is Unique Crew's getting ready to kind of unravel. His crew is getting ready to unravel in front of him because he's just getting a little too reckless. Like, he's so threatened and trying to eliminate Rock that he's losing focus. Because you're in the best position you possibly could be in right now, but every little thing that they're doing over there is a threat to you. You're consumed with it,
right?
That you're losing focus on, and she's strategizing, and you're not.
And don't forget all the stuff they stole from the stash house. Like, he's got product on top of product on top of product. You know what I mean? And it's like, can you move all of this? Because you haven't increased, as far as we know, you haven't increased your territory. Anyway, that's just me overthinking, but go ahead.
No, you're not overthinking it, because that's exactly the way I saw it as well. Especially when he was having that tantrum, that's exactly the way I saw it. Like, okay, yeah, he's finna lose control. He's finna lose control because he's throwing tantrums, he's throwing fits, and like, you're not really focused on your business. She focused, she ain't even got to work, but she's setting up to be in a good place when she do get the work back, because she got the apartments, she got the bodega. So, and then once you get rid of him, she'll have the corners back. So at this point, she finna be, you know, sitting in a good spot. Whereas you ain't even trying to make any adjustments to your organization. And like you said, you got all this weight. You stole all my weight. You buying up my re-up, and you're not doing anything with it. You're just trying to shut me down by running me out of product, but you don't.
And I think that's why she's so calm. Like, she keeps telling everybody. Like, she told the dude at the end of the episode, she was like, I might be losing some battles, but I'm going to win the war. Like, I think she sees it. I think she understands. But
yeah,
anyway,
I mean, if you think
because she's playing for the long game.
If you think about it, she's really playing chess and not checkers. I mean, she's really she's taking all of her workers really off the corners. So if there are no corners, where's they moving this shit at, and we can't find them?
And she's also reducing their risk as well. Exactly. She's reducing their risk because she even said when they went to go look at the apartments, we can see everything coming from up here. Exactly. So she's reducing her risk while he's increasing his by moving his weight on the street, because same thing happened when their corners got rolled up. So, you know, she's putting themselves in a better position to be able to move the product. So
And I think that's one thing that Juliana cousin want to hear. He don't want to that's cartel. He don't want to hear, oh yeah, we moving it on the corner. He wants less risk as possible.
Well, it was just kind of like Milan and Power, Milan and the Jimenez, they wanted the drugs moved through the club. They wanted to expand their weight to be moved in the hotels and stuff like that. They weren't just satisfied with their drugs being moved on the street. They wanted a bigger picture, more money, more opportunity, a bigger network. But they're not seeing it like that. And I feel like what Rock is actually doing right now, she is building a network. But with the whole studio thing, I think she's threatened by that because she feels like Lulu's going to be distracted in this music thing and not focus on expanding their business for them to grow.
Right.
And she wants to grow at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So you see Bert and Howard, they out on the streets, they talking to some of the fiends and, they trying to get some information. We see Detective Howard pay off one of the fiends and he pretty much gets a name for some of the dudes that was handing out the testers and they get Lil Rob. And I think he even tells them where to find Lil Rob at. That he be at
he told him to go down to the city bar.
Yeah.
So
I thought so. And so, I kind of agree with Detective Howard, when what's her name wants to roll with him, she is a distraction. She's a disadvantage because she make the people in the street uneasy to talk to them because she's white. She's white and she's a female cop. They don't want to deal with her. So, she thinks that Detective Howard is trying to keep her out of the loop and things, which he is. But at the same time, he does have a point when he says that, listen, you make the people uneasy. They ain't gonna want to talk to you. So she's going to have to come up with a different approach on how she approaches the streets because she wants to do police by the book. And that ain't going to work when you try to get information out of people on the street. So you see Marvin back at the house. He pouring himself up a drink. He nervous. Because he know that Rock is getting too close to the truth.
He's biting on his lip.
Yeah, he know that Rock getting too close to the truth. He nervous about all this.
Mm-hmm.
And Kanan show up, and he pretty much told Kanan, like, listen, your mama, she found out everything. And Kanan was like, yeah, how does she find out everything? She found out everything because Rock talked to the streets, And so, he tells Kanan, like, listen, your mom might not kill her own son, but she'll do me in a minute.
Right. She might not kill you, but she will kill me. She
will do me in a minute. And Lulu will be more than happy to pull the trigger. So, he already thinking about, this going to get back. This going to get back to me. He just trying to figure out what's getting ready to happen next. And, and Kanan just fumbling and bumbling, trying to explain himself. And, the damage is done at this point. You took a good idea and made a mess of it.
Right.
Because you weren't patient.
Right.
Yeah.
Facts.
And, so you see Jukebox, she don't made her way over to Nicole's house. So, she's just posted out across the street and she just kind of doing her little recon and she just watching and seeing everybody go into the house. We switch to the titty bar, the strip club, and Howard and Bert, they roll up and they see Lil Rob in there. And they roll up on him and fake like they got a warrant and they arrest him or try to arrest him to get some information out of him. And like I said last week, he ain't waste no time snitching Kanan out, which we knew that he was going to do that anyway because he didn't like Kanan.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Yeah, he snitched on him. He snitched on
real
him
quick.
Bad.
But listen, if he wasn't going to switch, the minute they said we got 7 bodies on you, shit.
Yep. He started capping real quick.
Real quick.
That man said,
you got it on Kanan. You got it on Kanan start.
I got something to say.
He 5'6".
Yep.
He lives right up the street.
He 15
right.
years old.
He wore this shirt.
This is what he had on this day. Exactly. Because Detective Howard was like, he 15 years old. He was like, there's an age limit on slinging. He's like, you know who he is? You know where he come from?
His mother is? Exactly.
Yeah. So, Burke, she ready to go pick him up. But, Detective Howard, like I said last week, was going to use this as an opportunity. So he definitely didn't want her to be in the middle of that and messing up his opportunity because now this is the opportunity that he was looking for to kind of, turn up the heat on Rock a little bit, because at this point
he
has been trying to get her to agree to tell Kanan that, you know, he's the father, but you know, he ain't had no leverage. So right now he's got leverage. So he wants to use this as that leverage to get her to concede to what he really wants. Which I feel like if he would just be honest with her and tell her, look, I need his bone marrow, they could come to an agreement, work out a deal. Because at the end of the day, she need police on her side anyway. Because he already told her that, you know, he would make this go away or whatever, if you tell Kanan what's up. So I mean, at the end of the day, she could use this opportunity to flip him to help. I mean, because she's already been kind of using him indirectly anyway, when she got him to go roll up on Unique's corners.
Right.
So you know, if he just be honest with her, I feel like she could use that. They could use each other.
Yeah, they could be. It's a deal to be made. You know.
Yeah, it's a deal to be made.
I could see her being open to a deal, but I don't know. I don't know if she's ready.
You know, everybody gets a get out of jail free card, and you know she's in a position to get that.
Don't have to use him anyway, though. Now,
well, I got a different opinion on that when we get to that. But I got a different opinion on that. But I feel what you're saying on that. So we switched to the studio, and you see Richie Sales and Crown Camacho up in there. They in there playing dice. Crowd in there trying to push up on females or whatever. They ain't doing no work. I mean, they ain't there having a good time.
Looking stupid.
Ain't doing no work.
And then Richie Sal, he looked to Crown, and he was like, the boss is here. He's like, he ain't the boss. And Lulu was like, I am what I say I am. And he was like, I need the room. He's like, y'all leave. And I already knew right then and there that this is what I've been looking for. This is exactly what I was looking for. So Lulu shows up with his lawyer and papers and saying, listen, all the bills I paid, all the money I don't funded you, we're going to turn this into an equity. And you're going to give me 50% of this label, and we're going to become a partnership.
Lulu hit his ass with the Howard Stern.
Yep, he put a Howard Stern on him. He sure did.
He hit him with the Stern.
Yep, he put a Stern move. Actually, that was more of a Ghost move, because Ghost kind of did that with Stern, where you know he was. Remember when Stern sent him down there to Miami to get the other
Florida,
to sign them papers. Ghost was sizing that situation up, and through the wife, he was able to give the wife the evidence that she needed to win the divorce settlement in lieu of her giving him those clubs. So that definitely was a reminiscent to a Ghost move right there. Like, listen, he's like, I ain't no
that move, boy.
Right. He's like, listen, I ain't no bank, and when you do, you know. And so he wanted to have a label.
He said, "You pass due, my nigga."
Right, exactly.
Which I was very glad.
He want to negotiate. Lulu was like, to negotiate, you need to have leverage. Like, you don't have no leverage, sir.
Yep.
As he pulled the pistol out.
Right.
And then he told him, he was like, listen, one way or another, something of yours is going to be on this paper.
Right. Either your signature or your blood.
So when your shit due, it's due.
That was gangster.
Yep.
I like that. One way or
and
another.
The lawyer was with the shit.
Going on this paper.
Oh yeah, the lawyer know who he worked for.
The lawyer know who he worked for.
You see how he slid them? You see how he slid that contract out? Like,
if I was you, I would sign these papers, right?
I said, right. If I was you,
right.
You don't have a choice, right?
So we may or may not be rid of Crown Camacho. We may be stuck with him for a little while. The only thing I can say, the only way I can see him getting up out of here is if he OD. That's the only way I can see him getting up out of here in the moment. Because if Lulu would have took complete control of the label, then that would have been one thing. But because it's a 50-50 partnership split, that means we're going to be stuck with Crown for a little bit. And at the end of the day, he kind of needs Crown to do the day-to-day work. You know, Lulu is just going to be pretty much the money man, but at the end of the day, he still need Crown to run the label and run the studio and all that stuff until he don't need him no more. Unless him and Richie Sounds find a way to get along, but you know, given their first interaction outside the showcase, I don't see them two getting along. So at the end of the day, he kind of needs Crown per se to be the face and to do the work. So what y'all think about that scene and what's happening here? We pretty much predicted that was going to happen when he started paying up all the bills. When he
I just want Crown Camacho to go away. Honestly, he's like irritating as fuck.
I want him to go away too, but I say this: I think what's going to make him go away is when he try to press up on Jessica. That's what's going to make him go away. But I'm ready for both of them to go away. And Famous, all three of them, they can go.
Like, he's a fucking cornball. I'm just ready for him to go away.
And he's a bit of a liability.
Definitely.
Indirectly, he's somewhat responsible for what happened to Nicole too, because he gave her the taste. You know, he gave her the taste.
But I don't think that was it. I think she was already doing.
I was about to say, I think she was doing stuff too.
I ain't gonna put that on him. I think she was already doing drugs.
I am, because what happened was he was rolling the blunt with weed. We saw that when she went to go pick up her pipe, she picked up her empty weed bag. So I think she was more receptive to hit the blunt because she's used to smoking weed. She's not used to smoking lace blunts with crack. So I feel like he gave her a taste of what that high was like with a lace blunt. And she may or may not wanted to reciprocate that feeling or whatever, but the expression on her face when she hit that blunt, just to me, he introduced her to something that she wasn't used to. She was used to smoking weed, yes, but I don't think that she was used to smoking crack and lace blunts. That he introduced that to her and unknowingly kind of sealed her fate, because that was the whole motivation for her stealing it when she stole it out of Jukebox bag, that she was trying to repeat that high that she had when she smoked it at the showcase that night. That's my opinion.
I got you.
Yeah, I can feel
that. So we see Jukebox. She back across the street again. She watching Nicole's parents leave their townhouse. And, you know, they calling for a cab and they get in the cab, and, you know, she watched them wait till they drove off, and she goes and breaks into the house, which we know why she went over there or whatever. I was just thinking to myself, no, Juke, don't do it. Don't do it. This is not going to end well for you.
Right.
But I understand why she did it, because the girl's grieving, and I felt like she went over there to, you know, kind of relive their last moments together, and she probably wanted something to remember Nicole by.
Yeah, I thought she wanted like a souvenir or something.
Yeah, I think so. When she found that videotape, oh man, and that girl, she really played the scene. She played that scene really well.
Yeah. Ooh, she broke really down, well. Man, she broke completely down.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that breakdown was crazy.
Man, that was an ugly cry.
I almost started crying.
Yep. It was very. It was very hurtful, and because we knew that what she was going through, and we knew that she was confused. She was just trying to figure out what's going on. How did this happen? How did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think at that point she hadn't even found the vial yet, you know. Because I thought she was getting ready to find it when she was on the dresser, and she didn't find it, and she found the tape that they had recorded at the mall. She sat there and watched it. It wasn't until the father came in that the mother came and she threw the vial at her and said, "Here, take this."
Right. The mother was
take this back to your ghetto.
Yeah, take this back to your ghetto. We had lots of our friends and family about how she died because we didn't want people to remember her that way. Which I can't say that I blame her family for that, because I would want no one to remember my child as a OD on drugs or was a junkie or anything like that. You know, and they come from high society. So
I must say a lot of people lie. They lie about how a lot of people lie about how people, you know, people die. They don't want to tell people what really happened.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't. Me and Marvin were talking yesterday, and of course Marvin felt like the parents were going to come after Jukebox per se. I don't necessarily feel like they were coming after her. I think they had called the police because someone had broke into their house. They didn't know that Jukebox was in there. Yeah, they didn't know that she was in there. And then, you know, the dad was, you know, trying to get her to leave. But I think in that moment, the dad finally processed that, listen, she's feeling a loss and she really did care about our daughter, you know. But, you know, the mama didn't see it like that. She was just like, get her up out of here, get her up out of here. And at the end of the day, they can't come after her at this point because she gave away the evidence. You know, she gave Jukebox the vial back.
Right.
So, but that was just a very powerful scene and well done by the actress. That little girl, she's doing a very good job. So you see Rock, she riding down the street. Unless we had anything else to talk about on that scene, the police came and picked her up and took her away. We pretty much knew that was probably going to be the end of that. We're probably not going to see Nicole's parents anymore. They're done.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
probably a
closure.
wrap.
Yeah, that was closure. So you see Rock, she riding down the street and Detective Howard following her and pulls her over, and she's like, "This nigga here, what he want?" So they have a conversation about, he was like, "Listen, I'm tired of you, and I'm tired of telling you that I want this boy to know who I am. I need to be there for him. He needs to know who I am." And we found out the history. We've been going back and forth with this ever since we found out he was the father. So we did find out that he did sleep with her at 16. He was a cop then.
And a fucking predator.
He was an undercover cop, so he probably was working narcotics or whatever at the time. So I'm wondering if she knew he was a cop when she slept with him, because she was like an undercover cop. So I'm wondering.
She probably did. That's a good point. That's a good point. I didn't think about it.
I'm thinking she did. But but go back to the beginning of that, where the way he even got her to talk to him was that he let her know, "I got Kanan on 6 counts of murder, and if you don't talk to me," he was like, "I got the evidence I need, so you need to talk to me or I'm gonna arrest him." And that's how she even agreed to have the conversation with him to begin with. So that's how she knew. The minute he said 6 counts of murder, 7 counts of murder, I think she knew then he had something to do with.
And then he dropped Bourdain too. He dropped Bourdain too. Lil Rob had pretty much told him that Kanan was the one who cooked up the drugs. So don't seal his fate too.
Right.
Probably.
About to die. Damn.
But damn, we learned a lot in that this one conversation. You're right, CP. We learned a lot because he did use that as a way to get her attention. Was, listen, I got Kanan on 6, 7 counts of murder, and I got all the evidence I need. So you either need to talk to me or we finna go pick him up.
And
so we learned that we learned a lot, because we learned that DEF CON was gay, and that she was his beard. Yep. And that
which is why he didn't care about when she got pregnant, and he was okay with everybody thinking Kanan was his, because it helped his cover story.
Yep. And then it pretty much confirms that there is no possibility that DEF CON is the father. He is the father. So there's no denying that. So she was like, he threatened her again and was like, "Well, I'll put out on the streets that Kanan is the father, son of a cop." And she's like, "You might as well put a bullet in his head yourself. You're gonna do that, because if you put that out there." So seeing how the story continues, we know that the secret is never gonna come out. So when they're leaving, he tells her, "And listen, if you or your punk ass brothers get smart on me, I'm gonna blast off on y'all, and I ain't gonna ask no questions.
I ask questions later."
Yeah.
Right, because he was like, "I want to meet Kanan, and like that's it. Like either you make it happen or I'm coming." And he was like, "And if y'all come for me, I'm asking questions. I'm shooting first, asking questions later."
But you see her make a call when she's walking back to her car. She calls somebody. We don't know who she calls. And she tells them to go pick up that dry cleaning in Harlem.
Probably Lulu. It was probably Lulu.
That's the only person she calls on her cell phone. She don't call nobody else on her cell phone but Lulu.
Right.
She said, "Go pick up that dry cleaning in Harlem I mentioned a while back." So I got a theory as to what the dry cleaning is. So you see them get back to the house, Kanan up there doing his little exercise and his little workout, and boy, she coming there doing mad as hell. She called him by his whole name.
Yeah, she used his government, boy.
That's when you know when you pissed.
Yeah, that mama is really mad at this
and
point.
He knew, you saw it on his face. He knew what it was. He saw it. His nigga was scared to come down the steps.
Shout out to Rock. She had her Louis Vuittons on. She was looking good in that outfit, though. She was wearing the hell out of that outfit.
When it tossed the jacket on the couch and came back.
She just trying to get herself together at this moment, because she's like, "I can't believe this fuck shit is happening." And so this was the conversation that we been needing to see and hear.
Yes.
This is it. So you want to break this down, CP?
Now you probably got the notes in front of you. You go ahead, but this is definitely what I needed to see.
So you seen when Kanan came downstairs, he knew what time it was. was. He knew what she was.
He knew.
He knew. And so she pretty much asked him. I found it very ironic. She asked him the same question that Unique and Detective Howard was saying about her, that either you not listen to me, or you don't know no better, or you just don't give a fuck. And and Kanan is trying to justify his actions on Van Wyck, like it was a good idea. I just want you to believe in me. I'm doing all this to show you that you can trust in me. And she's like, listen, you just dropped 20-something people with your bad crack. How the fuck you think I'm gonna believe in you? You doing all this stupid shit. And she told him exactly what we have been saying. She said it word for word. Listen, everything that the family is dealing with now is because of you and your dumb shit. All this dumb shit you doing. I'm out here trying to clean up your mess after mess. And she started naming it off. Buck 20, D-Wiz, the corners. All this is because of you.
Right.
And then that moment, out of all that, he zeroed in on D-Wiz. And he was like, well, you can't blame me, and you can't blame Uncle Marvin either. It's your fault. You're the reason why I am the way I am. And she slapped the shit out of his ass.
Yo, slapped the dog shit out of him. I was like, that's right, get him.
I thought she slapped that boy teeth out of his mouth. She slapped the shit out of him so hard.
And she slapped him like that the first night when he said it the first time. She should have slapped him like that.
He had it coming though, because the crazy thing is, like, if people that listen to us, they'd be like, I'm so sick of Kanan. Like, he reminds me, like, I can't stand him more than I can't stand Tyreek. And I was, and I was like, Kanan is doing a lot of dumb shit that's like way beyond every shit that Tyreek done. And he's just not listening. He don't want to listen to nobody.
He don't want to listen to nobody because he's not listening to his uncle. He's not listening to his uncles. He's not listening to her. He not listening to Jukebox. He's not listening to nobody. He just doing what the fuck he want to do.
Yep, he deserved to get punched in the face.
Yeah, he did. And you worry about D-Wiz. She was like, yeah, I killed him. And she was like, who to blame for D-Wiz, me or you? Y'all went and shot up that boy. You and him. That was y'all idea. Y'all went out there and shot up that boy on the corner.
Right. She was like, Neek's boys was coming, Buck 20's boys was coming. They was coming for you. And they needed a body. And it wasn't going to be your body.
Yep.
Streets need a body.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
And so, we see him get up and storm off and run off. I said he running. He going to cry now. He going to go cry. He going to go outside and cry. But we can tell that he's still bothered by the whole D-Wiz thing. But I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I mean, I think after she broke it down to him as to why she had to do what she needed to do, I mean, he was a casualty at war at this point. I don't think he's going to harbor any grievances towards his mother for killing her, because at the end of the day, she did it for him because of him. She did it for him because of him. And that's what she told him. So
I don't know about that one. That's thinking logically, and I don't give him a whole lot of credit for logic.
Well, I think it's definitely going to drive a wedge between his affinity towards her, but I don't think he's going to try to come for her or anything like that.
No. I don't think he's going to come for her, but
I think at best it's just going to become more defiant. And just against his mother's directives, he's going to continue to operate with his own agendas. I think that's what we're going to see from that. So we see Unique pull up to this hotel, and I don't know if this is where he's staying at, laying up at, or whatever the case may be. And we see Lulu pull up in his Saab and watch him go into the hotel or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, what's getting ready to happen here? I said, he finna try to roll up on Unique right now.
That's what I thought too. I was like, damn, that's what we doing now?
And it's crazy for that to be a 5-star hotel like that, and they don't got no valet outside that you got to come in and give your keys to the front desk for them to send someone to go park your car. But Unique goes upstairs, and Lulu comes in with this, this little act about, oh, I left something in my homeboy car. Can I get the keys real quick? And of course, he pull out $200 and get a man the $200.
And the guy also saw the gun.
Saw the gun. Yep. And he gave him the keys. So what I was thinking that was getting ready to happen was he getting ready to go put a bomb in Unique car, or he was getting ready to go plant some drugs.
What I thought.
Or that he was getting ready to go plant some drugs in there and get him set up on some charges. But we see him go out there to get the jacket. And I'm like, what's the jacket for? So when I'm going back to Raquel's conversation when she called, she said go pick up that dry cleaning. So I think that she was getting him to go get Unique's jacket because I think they're going to use that in a setup, some kind of setup, and they're going to use that jacket to leave at the scene of a crime. I don't know if they're going to use it to get rid of Detective Howard. They're going to leave the jacket behind. I can see her using Kanan to get rid of Detective Howard, and he dies with that secret. I think they use Kanan to lure him to a secluded spot. They're going to kill him and leave that jacket there to blame Unique. That's the only thing that I can come up with for what they're trying to do with that jacket. But we know it's some part of some kind of setup. So what's your thoughts about all that?
I think it's the setup for. I think
it's definitely a setup.
I think it's the setup for Unique. Well, to make it look like Unique killed Detective Howard.
I agree. That's my 100% and only theory at the moment. Unless we see something different next episode. But given what happened at the end of this episode, do they even have the jacket anymore? Do they even have the jacket? Maybe he left it in his car. Maybe he left it in his car in the trunk of his car.
I hope it's in the trunk of that Saab.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So we see Raquel, she pull up at Baisley, the apartments, and Marvin in there with the workers, and they still haven't gotten the apartments ready yet. So she seems to be a little bit irritated about how long it's taking for them to get these apartments together and ready to go. And so she dismisses everyone. She tends everybody away, and she picked up that 2x4. She knocked the shit out of Marvin with it, and she pretty much went off on him. And we learned a lot in this scene. We learn a lot in this scene. We learn why Marvin is not in charge is because he was getting high on his own supply. He was a junkie.
Well, she said that to Kanan.
Kanan, right.
Yeah. She did tell Kanan that. You hitched your wagon to your uncle's wagon, but your uncle, you know why he not running shit? Because he was a junkie. Yeah. Which I thought that was very unique. I wasn't expecting that for.
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that at all. I didn't realize that, but it kind of goes back to earlier episodes when, Tony Deep was trying to get him to do some blow with her that night. And he didn't want to do it. He was like, no, I don't fuck with that shit. So it's nice to see that he's clean now and, he's not breaking his sobriety. So it's good to see that. She knocked the shit out of him with that 2x4. They start having a conversation and she pretty much tells him that, listen, I'm tired of you. I'm tired of the mess that you making. I'm tired of cleaning up after you. I don't want to fuck with you no more. And she's like, you got Kanan caught up in all this bullshit. Niggas dying out here. She was like, I don't want to see you no more. I'm done. And she pretty much kicks him out of the business. She like, give all your work that you got to Lulu and we done. Which I thought that was I thought that was good that she didn't want to kill him. She just wanted to get rid of him. And he was like, I wasn't even trying to do nothing on my own. I was taking the money and putting it back into the business. He was like, but what I was trying to do is show you that I'm more than just, the errand boy. And you could see the hurt all in Marvin's face. Like, he's really hurt that his family don't got no use for him. And, but I think that we're going to see a different Marvin going forward. I think Marvin's going to really step it up.
So bad.
You said,
fucking up, just try to get the approval. Like, his approach to it was just, it just was terrible.
He has good intentions. He does have good intentions. It just his plans are not well thought.
Yeah,
his plans are not well thought through. And you can see she kind of even looked a little hurt, a little bit. She kind of looked like she was having a moment. I mean, I guess the whole thing with Marvin is that he's trying to live in his past. He's trying to outlive his past. He's tired of everybody throwing up in his face all the shit that he's done that's caused the family problems and grief and whatever. He's trying to live outside of that shadow. Like, he's trying to get them to look at him in a different light.
Right. But in the midst of it, like, everybody, listen, at the end of the day, everybody ain't a leader. And I just think Marvin ain't a leader. And I don't think that, I'm not saying that to be a bad thing,
and he's not so good as a follower either.
Well, he's not.
He's not. But I feel you on that. You're absolutely right. Everybody ain't a leader. And sometimes in order for you to lead, you have to learn how to follow.
Yeah, learn how to follow first.
That is true.
And she said that she told Kanan that. She told Kanan that the reason why she got where she was at was because I don't know, I can't remember if it was High Post or DEF CON that, she first started dealing with them. He had her sitting on the stash house just to be able to learn the operation and learn how things operate. You got to first learn your business before you manage your business.
That's true.
And if you can't learn how your business operates, then you don't know how to properly manage it. And that's basically what she's trying to tell him. Like, listen, I need you to take my lead because of your fuck ups, I had no choice but to step up and run the business. And now I'm doing shit my way, and you still out here trying to do shit your way. And we're butting heads.
Right.
So that's where all that friction is coming from. But
agreed.
I think he's going to redeem himself, especially at the end of this episode. He definitely redeemed himself. So we see Kanan going by Davina's house. I don't know what he was taking his ass over there for. That little girl ain't want to be bothered with you, Kanan. And you see CPS packing up the house. Somebody. Yeah, I guess so.
Somebody he can come.
Right. Well, I mean, he was already in love. So
yeah, I think he went over there for comfort because he's having a bad day at this point too. The shit that's happened with Juke, and at this point he hadn't even realized that he's responsible for it. So that was heavy on him. And then the situation that just went down with him and his mom, and finding out that his family was the one that killed his best friend. So he was going to look for some comfort. He was going to look for some comfort. And CPS is over there packing up the van. They getting the stuff out. And we found out that Davina and her sister have went to foster care, and her mother has died. So that kind of go back to me and CP. Last week, me and CP was trying to figure out, did Unique keep his promise and send the mama to rehab, or was she out in the streets? So obviously, she had been out in the streets.
Yeah, she wasn't in rehab.
Now, I was arguing with someone earlier today, that was saying that it was Kanan's dope that killed the mama, Davina's mama.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because if they hadn't have said that she had been dead for a month and they just now identified her, I would have said, yeah, she probably did get a hold of some of Kanan's bad dope. But they clearly said that she had been dead for a month.
Yeah, when they said she'd been dead for a month, I was like, nah. Because I thought the same thing when they first said they found her mother. I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, Kanan done killed her mama.
Yep.
But then when they said for a month, I was like, oh, yeah, nah. That ain't.
But they really should have made it that's what had happened. That would have been a great plot twist, that his drugs not only is touching everyone that's close to him, and the one girl that he was so infatuated in love with, you just killed her mama too and her boyfriend. I really wish they would have wrote that in where it was his drugs that did it, but I don't feel like it had been. I feel like she had already been out in them streets, because the neighbor had already said last week when she told her to come get this baby, where your mama been at. And she lied and said my mom been down south dealing with family issues or whatever. So, yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. She had just been out on the streets and she OD'd.
Right, and remember, her mother been gone for a minute because she was selling the tools and, like she been
trying to get groceries and stuff. Yeah, her mother had been gone for a minute. We ain't seen the mama since she came up to that school. Yeah. So why do you think that they chose to end Davina this way?
I had no idea.
Honestly,
I didn't think she was going to live.
20 on 10. I still feel like Juliana's going to put 20 on 10 about her. But what are we seeing here with Davina? Do you think that we're going to see her again?
I think she'll pop up later. I didn't think she was going to. I didn't think she was going to live, honestly. But I think she'll pop up later, definitely.
I think she comes back. I think she comes back later. I think that's why they didn't kill her. I think they wanted to maybe leave that door open if they decided to, move forward with that later. But yeah, I think that's why
you're right about that. So she may come back next season at some point next season. Yeah,
I mean, we may never see her again, or she may come back next season because, like you said, we know that there's always that piece of, was she the one that told Unique, or she was the one that told Unique. Like at this point, the stash house is old news, but they got so many other fish to fry now. But it's still something that's like you said, that Juliana can always be like, listen, they was up in my shop and I overheard yada yada yada. So it's something that can always come back. So yeah.
So that's that. We done with her for the moment. And we see Jessica and Lulu, they at the house, they just got finished getting it in.
Oh Lord.
And I can't stand her either. And we see that she money, power, and respect. She all about the clout. She all about famous, and I'm so goddamn tired. She act like famous is her fucking nigga, yo. I'm so fucking tired of her. Famous this, famous that, famous. And he like, listen, yo, we just got finished fucking. I don't want to see him talk about your brother.
Right. Can we just enjoy the afterglow and cuddle a little bit? Damn.
Right. Can we just enjoy the vibes, man? Like, damn.
Like, can you give it a break for just a minute? Just for a minute.
She's doing
she picking up the paperwork and she going through the paperwork and she lining all this. She making all these plans like she running shit. She making all these plans. Well, what we gonna do now? We're gonna put them on tour. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And he's like, listen, I didn't get this business for your brother. He trying to roll up a blunt and he just trying to chill. And she's sitting here pressing him like she was like, that's what's wrong with your sorry ass. Like, you ain't never satisfied. No, he told her that she's never satisfied. He said, no matter what I do is never enough. And she's like, yeah, that's the difference between me and your sorry ass. I'm never satisfied. I'm never satisfied. It'll never be enough for me. And I can get that you got goals for yourself and you want to push for it, but you're not helping achieve those goals by just sitting here barking orders at him. You're not putting in the work. Now, if she was putting out here and putting in work and whatever, all you're doing is trying to plant seeds and water them constantly. So I'm hoping that's the end of them. I hope they getting ready to go their separate ways because I'm so sick of her.
Because she knows she gonna show up and be like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, Lulu.
I wish that she would have stayed over there. God, I wish she would have stayed over there. I wish she would have stayed over there. I wish she would have stayed over there. I wish that first bottle that went through the window hit her upside the head. She should have got a bullet or something.
Cocktail and all, huh?
Damn.
Yeah, she should have got that first cocktail for real. So you see the police. They're taking Jukebox in, and feel that a detective in Queens had flagged her to let her go. And so they pull up on a corner and they put her out and let her go. And I knew right then and there that was Detective Burt. That was Detective Burt that set her free. I said that in their first interaction that I felt like she was going to be there for Jukebox when whatever happened to Nicole happened. And so exactly the way I saw it is exactly how it's playing out. So she's now going to become Jukebox's, I'm not going to say new love interest. I'm going to say she's going to become Jukebox's new confidant. Jukebox is going, especially when she roll up on her and tell her, I'm the reason why you got out that night or whatever. She's going to start coaching Jukebox or mentoring her or just be her friend. They're going to build a relationship.
I can see that.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. I think that's definitely the door that's open. She rolling up on her and be like, so we breaking in houses now. Like, what's going on? I could definitely see, because
I think Jukebox is getting ready to get out of hand a little bit. I think she's getting ready to get out of hand. But
remember, we saw her. Remember, Detective Burke saw them together.
Yep, and she even commented about how pretty the girl was.
Yeah. So when she made the connection, right? Yep. And to be honest with you, Burke might make the connection about the drugs. For real.
She might, yeah. Or at the very least, Jukebox may end up confiding in her about it. Because I think exactly what's going to happen. She's going to be her benefactor going forward. That when Jukebox gets out of hand, I think she's going to go back to boosting. And I do believe that Detective Howard is going to be that. I mean, Detective Burt is going to be that one that's going to roll up on her and pop her back in line. And this is what's setting the tone for Jukebox to go be law enforcement.
And also setting the tone for Jukebox leaving New York, because that's kind of the conversation at the end of the episode when she was talking, not to jump ahead, I'm sorry, but I thought about that too. When she was like, it's this place, I was like, okay, so now we setting up for her getting out of New York. But go ahead.
This is how she ends up in DC. Yep. And so, at this point, Jukebox don't really care. She don't see like she got anything to live for. She's just broken down.
Yeah.
And it's really sad to see. This is probably the first. Well, we're not there yet. So let me go ahead and bust this last scene down. And then we can get there. So we see Marvin and Tony Deep at the club. He banged her back out across the desk or whatever. And so, obviously he's blowing off some steam. He's upset about his conversation with Rock and everything. And at the same time, he came there to get his money. Because he told her that, look, I don't fronted you. I need my money. I'm trying to tie up loose ends. So I don't know, at this point, was he getting ready to get out of town? Because I felt like, he was just trying to put some distance between him and the family for a little while. So he was trying to go get his money up and everything. And she started asking him, what do I owe you money for? Tell me what I owe you money for and I'll give it. And she just kept saying it over and over again. So Marvin ain't as stupid as we say he is, because Marvin peep game, like, no, something ain't right about it. He's like, ain't no pussy worth this.
But he just kind of knew something was going on. I still think he's that stupid though. It's like
no, I disagree. I disagree. I have a new outlook on Marvin.
His facial expression kind of told that, like, bitch, you know what you need. You know what I want the money for. You know what the fucking money for.
You know what I gave it. You know what I gave you to work for. So what the fuck? Right. Why are you asking me this stupid ass question?
He definitely.
And then she chased him out of the club, asking him, "Just tell me, just tell me." And then you see he peeped the undercover cops. He peeped the undercover cops when he was walking out the door. So I absolutely think he picked the vibe up. He may not know all the specifics, like she was wearing a wire or anything like that, which she was. But he did pick up on the vibe that, she trying to jam me up in some bullshit, because he was like, ain't no pussy worth this. And, he left. And the cops told her that we got dick, but look like you got more dick than we did.
Right. They straight up listening. I was like, damn. But I think I agree. I feel like because the fact that Marvin hadn't called this woman, like, she'd been blowing his phone up. Like she said, she was like, I've been blowing your phone up. I don't hear from you. And all of a sudden you roll up on me and want some money. You want to have sex and now you want some money. I feel like he was willing to take that as an L. Like, like when they had gotten to that argument before with the dog and everything, I think he was willing to take that L.
Yep.
Right. But then, like you said, I think it's a combination of the two. I think he's, because at the end, like, he out of the business. So whatever money he got in them streets, that's all the money he got.
That's all the money he getting ready to have. Right. So he was trying to get up his money.
Exactly. I think he's just trying to, like you said, he tying up loose ends. He's trying to get all this money. Now, maybe he was going to try to flip that money. I don't know. Maybe he was going to go out of town for a minute and just kind of let things die down. Maybe him and Rock have gotten into arguments like that before, and he feel like, if I just, leave her alone for a little while and come back around, she'll forgive me. Like, I'm not really sure, but he definitely, he wasn't planning on getting that money. Like, I just really feel like he was like, he took an L on that money, or was willing to take an L on that money.
Yeah, but when she started acting crazy, man, I'm just gonna be breakout. I'm done.
Yeah.
Because what we found out is she don't got jammed up herself. She don't got caught.
Right.
With the
she
judge.
got jammed up. Yeah.
Yeah. And they pretty much told her that we'll let you ride on these charges if you give us a bigger fish.
Right. If you flip. Yeah.
Yep.
Who's your supplier, basically? You know how that game
Who's
goes.
Your supplier?
We don't want you. We want your supplier. And she was like, I'm telling you, he's dealing drugs. His whole family's dealing drugs. And who was sitting there listening to the whole conversation?
Stephanie Bosket. He was peeping the whole game. So I think that this is his introduction to the family business as well. Like I said last week, I feel like Symphony is going to become a part of this organization as well.
So do you think Symphony ends up becoming Breeze?
That's where I was getting ready to go with that. It would be very interesting to see if Symphony turns into Breeze.
I can see Symphony turning into Breeze. I don't necessarily buy that he's already a drug dealer, but I definitely
think that he's exactly what he's shown to be. He's a good guy.
But I'm just saying, I know those are some of the theories that's out there.
When he brings this information to Rock, he's now getting ready to be part of the family business. Because up until this point, he's not been involved. But the fact that he's processing what's going on, and he know that she's talking about their family, he may even be the one to do Tony. He may even be the one, even though I would like to see Rock do her. I like for her to be his second body, but she gonna be laid right up there next to her dog.
I think Marvin will get her out of here.
Marvin might get her on up out of here too. That's true.
I'm gonna take care of that.
But I would love it if it would be Symphony. I would love it if it would be Symphony to take her ass on up out of here.
It'll be easier for Marvin to get close to her. Marvin will be able to he'll be able to get close to between Symphony and Marvin. They'll be able to get the closest to her.
I don't think that Marvin gonna want to fuck with her no more when he find out that she got a wire on her and the feds are watching her or whatever. He ain't gonna want to go nowhere near that.
That's true.
So I feel like it'll be easier for Symphony to catch her off guard and get her than it would be for anyone in the family to roll up on her, because if she's already accusing them of the things that she's accusing them of, them going to try to take her out is going to put them closer to getting caught. So, I mean, I could see Symphony giving her a lace drink or some bullshit, or
true.
I could see Symphony. I could see Rock pressuring Symphony or convincing Symphony in being the one to get rid of her. This is why I feel like this is going to be his introduction to the family business. That this drug into all this mess is because of the information he takes back to Rock, and knowing how she reacted about the whole Kanan situation. You absolutely know that he's getting ready to take this to her. Undoubtedly, he's getting ready to take this to her. He's not gonna let this ride. So,
yeah.
So this is gonna be the end of her. This is gonna be the end of her. It could be the introduction to Symphony end up taking over this club some kind of way and running this club. So it's gonna be very interesting to see where this storyline goes on down the line. So we see Rock, she meeting with Joaquin, and she's still trying to convince him to give her the work. She seems a little bit more confident than she was in their last meeting. In her last meeting, she seemed a little bit just desperate. But she's even in a more desperate situation than she was last week. But she seems to be a little bit more reserved and calm about the situation. And he's got concerns, and he's got legitimate concerns because he's been watching her and following her. So he know about the whole Detective Howard situation, and he's trying to find out, what's your connection between this cop? Why you meet with this cop? What's up with that? And so when he brought up the Detective Howard situation, you seen his workers pull out they guns.
Yeah,
they draw them on her. So she was in a situation where she wasn't finna walk about that room type situation. Until she told them, like, I'm the one who took care of Gabrielle. So why would I take care of Gabrielle and snitch to the cops at the same time?
Right.
So,
but then she also brought up a good point, though. She was like, what drug dealer that don't have a cop in his back pocket?
Right.
Like, we talking business. Like, I'm not snitching. Me and him talking business. And that's when he was like, what are y'all talking about? But because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh shit. But then when she said that, I said, well, that's a valid point. Like, she brought up a valid point.
But that takes me back to, if Detective Howard go ahead and tell her what he really want, what he really need, that's going to develop that relationship. That's going back to what I was saying earlier. At some point, they're going to have to become bedfellows again. Like, they get into bed with each other. I need you for this. You need me for that. Like, let's go ahead and put a deal on the table. And eventually, she's going to eliminate Detective Howard. But I don't see them killing Omar Epps. If the character was played by anyone else besides Omar Epps, I feel like we'll get rid of him in the next episode or the last episode. But I feel like because the character is being played by Omar Epps, I don't think they're going to kill his character off right away. We might see him get on up out of here next season. I don't think we're going to see him get up out of here in the next 2 episodes. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't know. I
have
don't
to
think
agree
it
that.
matters.
That right. I think they're gonna start putting the wheels in motion to get him up out of here.
And see, I don't understand why they bring A-list actors. Well, I guess he would be a B-list at this point.
I'm about to say, Omar Epps ain't no A-list actor. No disrespect, but
he's a well-known actor.
He's an old school actor, but he's not an A-list actor. Like, we know him, but
I feel like when they bring characters on shows like this to play recurring roles, they're not a good fit for them. It's just like with Lorenz Tate. Lorenz Tate was not a good fit for Rashad Tate. They should have had him play another character, but he wasn't a good fit for Rashad Tate because of his star power. So I feel like that's the whole reason why they end up giving him a spinoff show, because he was Lorenz Tate. I feel like if there was any other actor that played Rashad Tate, they would not have given that character a spinoff. I think the only reason why we got a spinoff because he was Lorenz Tate. So I feel the same way about Omar Epps. I feel like because it's Omar Epps that's playing this character, they're going to find a way to keep him around because he's bringing in a fan. He's bringing in a fan base or viewers just on his name alone. So we got to keep him around. It's like Mary J. Blige playing Monet in book 2. Like, I feel like, they're using those actors to bring their own fan base with them to the show. So I don't feel like we're going to get rid of him this easy. I think we're going to try to get rid of him, but it ain't going to work out. And, we haven't seen it. It's time. I mean, in the regular Power series, major cast members have died up at this point, but we haven't lost a major cast member right now other than Nicole. I mean, I really don't even look at her as a major because she was more of a recurring. But I don't feel like they're at a point right now, especially since they've been renewed for season 2, that they're ready to kill off any major characters right now. But
I thought the other thing I thought was interesting in that scene was he said, "We've been following you," but if y'all were following her, then they should have already known that she killed
Gabriel.
Juliana's Gabriel. Yeah, like
right.
He didn't seem shocked, but he didn't seem like.
I guess he wanted to see the truth. He probably knew, but when she said it, it was probably confirmation for him. She gave me the truth. That's the way I took that. I took that as she was following up. He was trying to see if she was going to really be honest with him and what's she doing out here. And so you see Unique in his crew, they strapping up for the night. And when I saw this scene, I already knew they would get ready to go after Lulu. I had said last week they would get ready to go after Lulu because after he so arrogantly went off on them at the diner, I'm like, you fucked yourself up when you did that.
I said that last week
because
I never
you let the enemy know what your movement was, and then you didn't try to go take out the enemy. Like, if you would have told them that and then went back after and finished the job, you didn't finish the job last week. So, you was sitting on a throne and you were being cocky, but at the same time, you didn't eliminate your threat. You just
because I'm thinking y'all didn't think that they was gonna retaliate. Like the minute you told him that was him, what made you think they wasn't gonna be waiting for you at your house that night? Like that was crazy to me. Like that was crazy to me.
And the fact that you knew that you didn't finish the job, you told them that you didn't finish the job, and didn't even try to finish the job. Yeah, I already knew that they gonna roll up on you next. And that's exactly what they did. They caught him off guard.
Yeah, he made that too easy for them.
He made it too easy for him. And the fact that Jessica had left, I just wanted her to stay there. I wanted her to stay there so bad. I wanted her to get the first bullet. I wanted her to die in that fire. I wanted her to be. I was like, yes, this is gonna be our way. She's walking out the door. As soon as she opened the door, she gonna catch a bullet. I was like, I knew it. And I'm like, damn it, they let her ass get away. Like, fuck.
Right.
Lulu was at the house. Rock had called. It was like batter up. So I wonder who she was calling him on. Who was she calling for him to ride on then?
That is a great question.
When she called, because if she called him earlier about Detective Howard, who was she calling for him to ride on that night?
I don't know, but he didn't answer the damn phone.
He said he was off.
He said, I'm off tonight.
He said, I'm off tonight.
He put the Mosley brothers on. He put the Mosley brothers on. He had them fix him a nice drink.
Okay. He was like, yeah, I'm off. I'm good.
And I'm like, oh, man, them niggas start spraying up his house and shoot up his house. And I'm like, where the neighborhood at? Where all this gunfire and shit going on? A fire.
If they smart, they on the ground. They on the floor. Don't go to the window, try to see what the hell going on.
For real. They in the bathtub with a mattress on top of them like a tornado. Just
right. Crazy.
Right.
Yeah. So we see Lulu house just getting demolished, yo. I mean, demolished. He tried to shoot back, but he wasn't in a position where he needed to get up at all.
Nah,
like he should have tried to crawl to another room or something. And so, he ends up passing out from smoke inhalation. And here you go see Marvin coming up the road. I felt like Marvin was coming up the road either to say goodbye to Lou or to kind of let Lou know what don't happen between him and Rock. He was getting ready to give him the work like Rock told him to go do.
I was going to say, well,
yeah.
She had told him, take the rest of the work over to Lulu house.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he seen what was going on down the street, and I'm like, why are we getting this same scene again that we already got in another episode? Poor Marvin can't keep a car. Marvin can't keep a car.
Marvin,
man.
stay
Just crashing $100,000 cars.
And he crashing coincidentally rear-ended. He the rear-ended car. You know what I'm saying? The cars, all of them, like the red one. Now he done rear-ended. He done ran into some in the blue one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And,
you should go with black.
Poor Marvin, he can't keep a car.
Up every damn thing.
Yes.
And man, listen, he fall up out the car. And I'm like, yo, man, he's stumbling. He kind of disoriented from the crash or whatever. But he started processing what was going on. He kicked down the door. He get in there. He saved his brother. He bring his brother up out of there. And I was really glad to see that. That he went in there to see about his brother or whatever. But I could have did without the melodramatic scream. But
somebody help.
Somebody help, yeah.
Like,
listen.
That was dry.
It was. It didn't fit the actor. If he would have had one of them ghost screams, then Omari Hardwick did that shit. When Angela got shot and when he told Sean to go away. Yeah, now those screams were more fitting for the scene, but that little cry out for help, that was just so dry. And so, we know that Lulu's going to make it. We know that Lulu's going to make it. And I was telling CP earlier, I was like, damn, I can't. I couldn't imagine what Rock hospital bills look like because they stay at the hospital. Like, I hope she got a good medical plan. She must have got hella insurance because man, her people
got
stay at the
gangster
hospital.
benefits. She got gangster benefits.
She must have got Blue Cross Blue Shield benefits because damn, she stay at the hospital.
Because I ain't lying, I was nervous. I was like, is Lulu dead?
I don't think he is. I don't think
he is either.
I think he's going to be at the hospital with Scrappy.
I was wrong about Scrap, so I didn't want to make no proclamations.
I mean, if they killed him off of that, it takes a while for you to die. It don't take long, but it takes longer than that for your ass to die from smoke inhalation. So I think,
and then on top of that, his character, with that being his character, he needed a different. It's just like in Power, we wasn't satisfied with Ghost's end. Certain characters, they need a death that's fitting for that. Like he needed a death like how Julio went out in Power, where he was trying to fight off all them niggas.
Yeah,
and he need a death like that. He don't need a death. He don't need no little just simple I died in a house fire type death. So that's another reason why I don't feel like he's dead. Yeah, that's why I don't feel like he's dead because they would have given him a better send off than that. For his character. And two, they wouldn't have had him go through all those efforts of signing those papers about the studio if he wasn't going to be around. So he was going to be out of pocket for a minute, laid up in a hospital with Scrappy. But
I was going to say, listen, if Scrappy,
they're going to get a joining room.
They're going to get a joining room, yeah. Listen, the show started off, the very first episode of the show started off with them at the hospital. I'm like, damn, she got to take somebody up to the. I know I'm surprised the hospital ain't asking no questions at this point. Like, you up here every other week.
Right.
You got somebody up in here every other week. What's going on?
Right.
Damn, you were just
right.
here last
Working for you must be a hazard to your health. I was
about to say that shows of the level of working for her is though. They need to
it's a big risk. It's a very big risk.
Hey, listen,
her general liability insurance must be through the roof. She probably paying about
work for Rock. You go to the hospital.
Right.
Her people battle tested. They good.
Yeah.
But shit.
Battle tested is one thing, but damn.
Yeah, but damn. Every other week you go to the hospital.
For real.
But I think them not killing off, because I don't think Lulu is dead, but I think after this incident, he's gonna get on some real murderous shit.
No, Marvin gonna get on some real murderous shit.
Well, we know Marvin,
that's gonna be Marvin's finna be murderous. He finna be ski mask down.
We already know Marvin to bust some heads. We already know that. But
I'm saying that this is what's gonna redeem Marvin. This is what's gonna bring Marvin back into the fold, because Marvin finna go take all these niggas out, yo. He finna go take all these niggas out. He finna get revenge for his brother. Like, it's this, that's my brother. I'll fight with him. I'll tell him he ain't shit. or whatever. But the
But
reality
you
of
can't
it
touch
is
it,
someone
though.
exactly. So I
You
think
can't
Marvin's
touch it.
finna be on some
I can
Rockabye
argue
Baby
with him
type
all
shit.
day, but touch him.
Listen, Marvin finna be on some Rockabye Baby type shit. Now he finna be dead niggas left and right next episode. You watch.
I think when Lulu get out, he gonna be on the same type of shit though. I think this is pretty
That's
much
what
gonna
and that's
refocus.
Now I do see Lulu
I
being the
think
one
it's
to
gonna
ultimately
refocus
take
him
out
on
Unique.
the drug
and
game.
that's what I'm and that's what I'm and
I do
that's
feel
what I'm
like
saying,
Lulu is going to
I
be the
am
one to
saying that's what
ultimately take out Unique. I think Marvin's going to pick off his crew one by one. I think they're going to get Warrior on up out of here next week. And I think he's going to take some of the other workers out. But I think ultimately Lulu going to be the one to take Unique on up out of here because they're setting the tone for it to be some type of rival between them now because, last episode he offered him a deal. He turned it down. This episode,
He turned it down. He shitted on that deal.
Yeah, he shitted on him. Yeah, he did. So I think ultimately, Lulu's gonna take Unique out.
I think this gonna refocus him as far as not necessarily getting all the way into the drug game like that.
But he's gonna keep him one foot out the door.
It's gonna
keep him one foot out the door.
It's gonna put his shit on pause, and he's finna get on some other shit. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, I definitely think he's gonna clean up things for Rock. He definitely gonna clean up things for Rock, but I look at that as a different way. I look at it that this is gonna keep him one foot out the door, not for real. This is gonna be his reality check. This is reality check right here that, I'm not gonna do this because he already told Marvin one time before that, I don't want to end up dead or in jail. So ultimately, this is what's going to get him out the game. We might not see it this season, and we may not even see it next season. But ultimately, I think that this is his.
Yeah, we're gonna see him leave. We're gonna see him leave. We're gonna see him leave, but before he leave, he gonna definitely drop some fucking bodies.
Yeah, he gonna drop Unique. I'm telling you, he gonna be the one to drop Unique. You can put a bullet in that nigga head, and he done for. I'm ready for it. I'm tired of seeing the tantrums. So I'm tired of it.
Tantrums in his little lair. His little lair of mirrors.
Yep. He like to sit in there, look at his shoes and look at his clothes and stuff. I'm done. Just go on here, put him in the ground. Send him on out of here. Yo, this next scene, the last scene, is the first time I actually felt sorry for Kanan. And I'm gonna explain to you why. Like with him and Jukebox, I don't know who house it was at. I don't know if he was at Jukebox.
It was at
house.
his house. No, it was at his house.
You think he was at his house?
Yeah.
When she pulled out that vial and said, "This is what killed Nicole," he processed that. You saw that in his face. Like she told him, he took it out my backpack, and he was like, he was getting ready to try to say something. He was like, I don't even know what to say. To be quite honest with you, he was like, I don't even know what to say. And you could just see the hurt on these kids. These are kids, 15 and 16 years old. They're kids, and the reality of what their life is like at 15 and 16 years old. I felt sorry for them. Because Jukebox even said it's this place. It's this place like we forever. This is where we see they actually grow up into this. Like I feel like this is where they're processing and accepting the fact that this is our life. This is our family life. Our family is constantly at war. We out here in the drug game, and I felt more so sorry for Jukebox than anything because like I'm not gonna say she's innocent, but she ain't in this shit like they are. And she the one who's suffering the most from it.
Mm-hmm.
Her father don't halfway care nothing about her. Her mama ain't around. She lost the one person that she was actually accepting who she was with. You could just see that they fucked up. They don't know what to do with themselves. It was a very powerful episode. It was a very powerful scene.
Yeah.
I mean, what y'all think about what's getting ready to happen in episode 9?
Well, we see that the war is definitely on.
And in those episodes, in that trailer,
do you think Rock gonna get her work next week? Finally?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think she's gonna get her work too, and I think the apartment's gonna be up and going. I think she's getting ready, and I think that was the whole purpose of getting rid of Gabriel. I think she getting ready to set up shop. But at the same time, she got to tie up loose ends, and Unique and his crew is a loose end, so they gonna get rid of them next week. Or at very
and
least
especially,
start
I mean,
getting
they
rid of
tried to
them.
murder. They tried to murder her brother. She definitely gonna get their ass next week.
Yep, she going after their ass. It's gonna be on.
I think a possibility she could use the connects muscle that to help her out with this war in order to clean that up.
I had said that last week too, that she was probably gonna need some of that muscle, and I think that we're gonna start getting some new characters. I think we're gonna start getting introduced to some new characters for next season.
If y'all seen that I'm sure y'all seen that trailer for next Sunday, that little clip. When they came out, I'm pretty experienced in this field. That some bitch had an AK with a drum on it.
Sure did.
That ain't no game. That ain't no game to be playing around with.
And he ain't gonna miss like Lulu did with that Tech 9. Marvin ain't gonna miss. Marvin finna go spray some shit up.
Marvin is not gonna miss.
Marvin ain't gonna miss. Marvin getting ready to go spray some niggas up next week. Yo, he finna take out.
Right. On top of them trying to kill Lulu, hell, they tried to kill him. Shit.
Yep.
Nigga, they tried to kill me too.
And you coming after my family now. You coming after my family. Like, we beyond this little street beef that we got, this little territory beef that we got. Like, you try to take us up out the game. So it's survival of the fittest at this point. So I feel like Marvin finna go stupid next week. But
I agree. It's about to be a whole nother situation.
Me and CP looked at this. We felt like the reason why this series was so accelerated versus the other series is because I feel like they were trying to give us the story of Kanan in case they didn't get renewed for season 2. They were trying to close up as many loose ends because usually in a show that's renewed for another season, they don't close up as many story arcs as they closed up in this series. Like just about in every episode, we got closure to all the different story arcs they had running. So, I think the whole shit with Tony Deep is going to run into next season. Unless they get rid of her by episode 10, I think Detective Howard, there's not going to be no closure on that next week. I think we see Bert and Jukebox, they're going to be meeting next week. So I think that it's going to be real action-packed season 2 as well. And didn't you see Marvin shoot up Unique car too? Did his car get shoot up next week?
He shot his car too.
I thought that was Unique car that was getting sprayed. Yeah, so
I think we know they're going for Unique. Now whether Unique is in the car when he shoots it up, I don't know, but they definitely go for Unique.
I agree. Well, as I keep saying, this is a great series. I'm very pleased with this spinoff. We get action every week, just about. I know we've had a couple episodes that everyone wasn't really kind of feeling, but I mean, I've liked all of them. I think they've done a very good job.
I'm about to say that would be me. I'm everyone. That would be me.
And then I'm so excited that we get BMF on the 26th as well. So when this series
BMF is in the building.
Yep, when this series goes on hiatus, we get BMF. So I'm really glad to see that we're gonna have something else to watch in the meantime while we're waiting for book 2 and book 4.
Yep, I'm ready.
Yep.
Can't wait till the BMF series start.
All right, so do we got anything else for this week that we need to talk about?
That's it.
No, I think we got it.
All right, I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap up this week's episode then, y'all. Y'all know where to find us at out here. And again, we know that everyone may watch this show and view it in different opinions than what we view, but this is just our opinions and what we see in the writing and portrayal of the show. So I mean, we're not experts; we're critics.
Right. Let's debate it respectfully because strong opinion.
Right. And if you feel like you got a strong debate about the show, come on here and talk about it with us. We agree to disagree around here because listen, the four of us, we don't always agree with what we're seeing too. And I think you guys hear that a lot in the show as we are talking about the different scenes. I see things differently than everyone else. So we say all that to say that anyone is welcome to come on the show and be a guest and, let's talk about it. We enjoy this, this is fun for us. So, we're going to just put our opinions out there. So you can find me on Instagram at RETROCG. You can also email the show at info@tsfentertainment.com. Everybody, tell them how to find y'all.
Okay, ReallyBTV. You can find me at YouTube at ReallyBTV, Instagram and Twitter, ReallyB TV _ on YouTube.
It's your boy, the Juggernaut of Souls. You can find me on IG at Juggernaut _ Souls. You can find me on YouTube at Juggernaut of Souls, man. Y'all already know we on the road to 1K. Just dropped the Shattered Backboard 5 review. The Yeezy Light review is up. Man, appreciate all the subscribers. Go on over there and check your boy out.
Jacket Jordan, you can find me in the streets. You heard me?
All I gotta do is sit up the back signal for you, right? Sit up the back signal. Sit up the back signal when we find you. Y'all also welcome to send us any DMs to the TSF Entertainment Instagram. Myself and Jack of Jordans, we usually try to keep an eye on the DMs over there and the emails and things like that. So, you know, if you guys leave comments for us, we will talk about them on the show. We will answer whatever questions y'all have out on the show. So we out here, y'all. I guess we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Yeah. Peace.
All right.
So if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app and go to Anchor FM to get started.
You are now listening to TSF Entertainment Podcast.